How's it going, class? Alright, to begin with, I'm recording on my cell phone because, well, I have been working around like 60 hours this week, so, working, basically I'm on my lunch break right now, but regardless, I digress. My persuasive speech today is going to be about the difference between smaller or bigger motorcycles and whether or not a smaller or larger motorcycle is going to be better for you to begin on. So to start, the first things first, what you got to realize when you go to, when you're a beginner at riding a motorcycle, it doesn't really matter if you have a small bike or a big bike or medium bike, cruiser, crotch rocket. If you decide that you want to get on that motorcycle, rip the throttle and go all at it, you're going to end up dumping the bike and God forbid, get hurt while you're in the process. However, I will state that most of this information is really going to be kind of personal experience and personal, preference. However, there are plenty of websites to kind of get an idea of where I'm coming from. So, me personally, when I talk to a person that's about to buy a motorcycle and get riding for the first time, I recommend something like a 650 or somewhere in that area. For instance, they have like the newer Ninja 600s. Now, I'm not talking like the Ninja 600R or like the super sport bikes or anything like that. What I'm talking is what they call a sport touring bike. A sport touring bike is kind of a mixture between a cruiser and a crotch rocket. It's more laid back, more comfortable, not so powerful, and you don't have to worry about popping a wheelie as soon as you turn that throttle. The reason why I recommend this to newer motorcyclists is because it has the power, so you're not going to get bored of it. But it also is a little bit more forgiving when you do hit that throttle. And the reason behind this is because when you go to first ride, you don't necessarily want to feel kind of just, how do I say this? You don't want to feel like you're missing the power. You don't want to feel like you're missing the full, ability to be able to ride how you need to ride. For instance, say if you get a 250. Nothing against 250s. 250s are great bikes. They're great cornering, great learner bikes. They are. However, if for instance I ride a Ninja 600, say me and my buddy decide to go ride. He has a 250. I have a 600. I'm gonna half throttle on mine. Motorcycle is gonna be about full throttle on that 250, which it's kind of disheartening when you go riding with your friend that has a 250. It really kind of stinks because you really have to watch what you're doing to prevent losing your friend. But I'm getting off topic here. The reason why I recommend 650s, and there's plenty of bikes, for instance, like a Honda Hornet or an SV650 or pretty much anything that's a sport touring, anything that's kind of a relatively smaller bike but not overpowered. They are very lightweight. They're very great at cornering. They're very great at keeping up with other bikes. They're not going to be 150 horsepower and knock you over. Keep that in mind, though. They do have the power that's necessary. For instance, when you go riding for about 6 months, 7 months, you're gonna crave more power. That's just how it is. It's just human nature. You're gonna want more. The 650 will have that. When you start getting used to riding, it only takes about a month for you to really start to get the feel for things, the hang for things, and know where your limits are. After a month, you're gonna be sitting there on the 250 and going like, man, I don't have any power. I don't have the necessary power to fulfill my needs. And then you'll go and you'll try to sell a bike, try to get a 600 because you feel more comfortable, and then you're just going to waste a lot of money, a lot of time, and nobody wants to do that. So that's the reason why I recommend a 650. Now, let's say you want to go for a cruiser. Cruisers, on the other hand, are a little bit more, easier to kind of learn on. The reason being is because they're heavier bikes, they're more stable. You're not really worried about like tipping over going 40 miles an hour. It's cruisers are just for a nice, easy, long ride. That's what they are. That's what they're for. They're not meant to be popping wheelies and doing tricks or anything like that. But for a cruiser, me personally, I would recommend somewhere along like a 750 or my first bike was actually a Honda VT 750. Great bike, had plenty of power, and very stable bike. So something like that is going to be amazing for a beginner rider. So I guess most of this information, I know it sounds a little more of a personal. However, there are a lot of websites that kind of state that you need a 250 or you need a 300 or you need this in order to learn. That's not what it is. It boils down to your ability to control yourself when you get on that motorcycle. Your ability to hop on a bike and understand that if you make a mistake, that could be life or death. It doesn't matter if it's a 250, a 300, a 600, or a 1,000. It doesn't matter what size of a bike it is. It will kill you if you make the wrong decision. So getting a 600 or getting a 650 is not going to kill you just because you have a bigger bike. What's going to kill you is your irresponsibility or your disregard to the fact that you have a machine that is a machine. That's what it is. It doesn't care who you are, what you do, or what your status is. It doesn't care. What it cares how about fast you want it to go. So that's kind of where my opinion comes from, is the personal belief that people are in control of their ability to ride. They're 100% in control of their ability to decide whether or not they are going to hop on a motorcycle, hit full throttle and go, or they're going to ease into it and learn the bike. I don't want to say respect the bike, because the bike doesn't respect you. It's more of a just learning process. So getting something like a 650, getting something like a 600 or a sport touring bike or even a super sport, it really won't hamper your ability to learn. It won't hamper your ability to be a beginner motorcyclist. What it will do is it will provide you something in the future. It'll provide you with a motorcycle that you'll be happy with for a longer period of time. Something that's more stable, more reliable for longer than getting a 250 or 300. When you get a 250 or 300, you're 6 months down the road, you're going to be sitting there talking to yourself like, man, I should have got a 600 because I really do not like the power. So regardless, whatever you get, it's still a motorcycle. It's still, you're going out, you're riding, you're having a blast, you're meeting new people, you're doing new things. My persuasive speech is really about wanting to help you out in the future to make a better judgment call on what kind of motorcycle you want to get. Make a better decision on if you want a bigger bike, or if you really think that you're not able to control yourself, and then don't get a big bike. Get a smaller bike, learn how to control that throttle, and then move your way up. I can see that, but like I said, you're going to be wasting time and money, and that's something that we all don't want to do. But anyway, again, my name is Justin. I really appreciate everybody's time today. I hope my persuasive speech was at least a little bit intellectual. And yeah, you all have a great day.